Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Someone had wanted me to do a video about my marriage and like the history with that, so I thought I would do a quick video. I am DJing emo night tonight, which I've never done before, and realistically I'm not really DJing. I made a playlist and I'm gonna push a button and like get kind of hype. But I have a little bit of time to kill before that, so I thought I would do a quick video about my marriage. Quick dating history pre that, I really didn't have like many relationships. My ex-husband's name is Steve, and we met when I was 22 at a party, and I don't really count anything in high school as like relationships and stuff like that, and I kind of only hung out with a couple of people after that, so I wouldn't even really say that I had like any like real relationships prior to my relationship with Steve. So we met at a party at this guy Jeremy's house, and I think prior to the party, he had messaged me a private message through this website, azpunk.com, which was kind of like your one-stop shop for all local shows in Arizona, and it was mostly like punk-based, obviously, AZ Punk. But it was kind of like all Arizona bands, and there was a message board that I was very active on, that like a lot of my friends were very active on. So I'm pretty sure he messaged me initially through there, but I don't remember like the context of that. But we like met at this party, and I was talking to some friends, and he basically just like came up and interrupted our group and just like asked if I wanted to go out to dinner, and I was like, sure, and then he just walked away. So that was like weird. But I think maybe about a week later, we went on our first date to a Mexican food restaurant. I think I've talked about this before. Had some margaritas. I had some concerns like right off the bat, although we did hang out for like 3 or 4 hours, but he left the restaurant a couple times to smoke, and I don't or have never smoked. So that was like not something I was super excited about. But I think I was just really insecure at the time because I was kind of like, this person likes me and I've never really had this. So like, I'm just going to keep going with it, and like, I can deal with the smoking. And actually, on our first date, he told me that he was going to quit smoking. So I was like, oh, okay, like, I believe you. And I think he only smoked for like maybe 2 dates after that, and then stopped for maybe 2 years. Before he started again, which sucked. But yeah, like, I think he said I love you after 3 weeks, and of course he like don't know what to say really, so I said it back. Looking back on that entire relationship, I don't think I was ever in love. I think I liked the idea that he liked me, and this sounds conceited, but I still feel very strongly that I never cared for him as much as he cared for me. But yeah, we had, we broke up for the first time after maybe like 1.5 years. And I wasn't ready for that. And like, he had broken up with me. I wasn't ready for that. Like, I remember crying and just like, I couldn't handle it. And since we were living together, we ended up getting back together. And then maybe like another year later, I broke up with him and moved back in with my parents. And then after a couple weeks apart, you know, he gave me the whole, like, I'm gonna change, just whatever. And so we hung out a couple times and then ended up getting back together. I ended up signing a lease with him and his brother, but under the condition that I got my own room. So we got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, me, him, and his brother. And things were like okay for a while, but then he started having band practice in the garage, which like was fine. But like, his bandmates would like fuck with my dog. Like, there was this one guy who like would take the top off a beer bottle and like squish it between his fingers so it would like shoot out, and he would like shoot them at my dog, and like that really pissed me off. And I'm like, control your fucking friends, dude. Like, don't fucking hurt and scare my dog. Also, his brother did lots of drugs in the bathroom of our house, and somehow was always surprised that bills were due like every month. So it was a very like stressful time. And then, yeah, like I don't think we broke up while we lived there. Then we moved back in with his friend Eric, and lived there for a little bit. And then Steve decided he was like out of money, so he was going to move back to Alaska, which is where his parents live. So he went back there for like a couple weeks, and at the time it was like, oh, I'll go eventually. Looking back, there's no way I would have ever gone. He ended up coming back from Alaska because it wasn't the way like he remembered it being. And all throughout this time, like he was unemployed, and so on. Like he just like couldn't keep a job. And so he ended up like getting me a ring. And I remember the way he proposed is like, I got home from work and I was like in my room changing, and he just like came in with a ring and he just holds it out and goes, here, put this on. That was the proposal. And I was like, what the fuck? And it was kind of like this situation where it's like, oh, like this is what you're supposed to do, right? After you like date for a long time, like this is just the natural next step. So we decided to get married in Vegas, at the Mirage Hotel, outside like by the waterfalls and stuff. And we only had like 25 people there or something. And it was like fine. The night before the wedding, I got like really fucking sick. I was having trouble with my lap band, and I'd eaten like a part of a soft pretzel and it got stuck. And so I was just like having crazy fucking problems. I thought about going to the ER. I ended up spending most of the night in a bathtub, like submerged under warm water, because as soon as I got out of the water, I thought I was dying. So we get married and like, that's fine. But then that night, he got so fucking drunk. Like, I ended up going that night, like, hanging out with kind of, like, the people that came with me. And he went and hung out with, like, his friends and family. And we had plans to, like, all meet up later. It's really hard to coordinate a group of 25, like, in Vegas. But he ended up getting so drunk and, like, got lost. Couldn't remember what hotel we were staying at. Finally made it back to the hotel. I remember, like, my little sister had called me on the phone and my phone was ringing, and he punched my phone, cracking my phone because he was annoyed that it was ringing. And I like swear to God, you guys, like I wanted to leave him in Vegas. And I just remember thinking like, what the fuck have I done? Like, why did I marry this person? Now it's going to take like money and a judge to like get out of this. So I had like instant regret from the get-go. And yeah, I mean, it was just kind of like a shitty marriage. I bought a house because he like had terrible credit. So like I bought a house. His mom actually did loan us some money for a down payment. So when I sold the house, you know, we paid her back and stuff. But yeah, he decided that he couldn't afford to live here anymore because he couldn't keep a job. So he decided he was going to move back to Alaska. And I was like, well, I'm not moving to Alaska. Like, I was just getting back into music pretty heavily and stuff, and I was like, there's literally nothing for me there. So let's get a divorce. And he did not want that. I think it was hard on him initially, but I think after a while he was like, yeah, like this isn't working either. So I filed for divorce, actually filled out, like, you can do it pretty much all yourself if you like agree on everything. So I was pretty much like, this is my debt and these are my assets. That's your debt and your assets. And like that, like, I don't want your shit. You don't want my shit. Like, it's fine. So I think it only costs maybe like $400 to get divorced. And yeah, then he moved back to Alaska. I think I've seen him maybe like twice since then. The divorce was finalized in January of 2014. So it's now been 3 years. And yeah, I've never been happier. This video is probably really long. And there's like a lot more things I could say about marriage and why, like, I feel like I made such a terrible choice. But yeah, If you guys want to know more about that, let me know what you want to know, and I'll try to make another video, and I'll see you later.